Welcome back to the Beast Speak blog. This is the series where I tell you what the Beast has been saying to me and how I overcame it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Beast is your addictive voice, the AV in AVRT of rational recovery. If you can recognize that beast, then you can separate yourself from your urges, and that can result in immediate and lifelong abstinence. If you want to learn more about rational recovery or how to do AVRT, I'll link Virginia's story in the description box below. You can check that out. It's a good place to get started. So I've lived in a high crime area. I did it for over a decade. Most people don't know what goes on in these places. It's a lot worse and a lot better than you think. Most of the people are good, but the bad is really bad. A story got around once that one of my neighbors was held captive in his house while his drug dealer used his apartment to deal from. The drug dealer protected his own family by doing business out of this hijacked house instead. He didn't want the addicts to be around his wife and children. But he set up shop right next door to me, and hundreds of cars a day would pull up and go in for a few minutes and come out and leave. I didn't know who these people were or what they were capable of. It was worse when they didn't leave. I'd see the addicts doing drugs in the car right in front of my house. I didn't have kids then, so it wasn't as bad, but it was traumatizing, and people who live in these neighborhoods are often traumatized by these things. By the time this guy was evicted, the sheriff took out 15 people, including the dealer, in a one-bedroom house. The word was that the original tenant was found under a pile of clothes with a hole in his lip. You can imagine what that was from. The dealer was feeding him drugs to keep access to his place of business, this guy's apartment. This sort of scenario where the drug dealer would use another human being as a resource is not unusual. Taking a cue from their dealers, other drug addicts will find someone who gets a monthly disability check, the most vulnerable among us, and get them involved in drugs to make them a roommate, and then use the money they get monthly coming in for their now shared habit. You might cringe and say, I don't want to hear this. You don't want to see the dark realities, right? But I, for one, am not interested in and refuse to blindly participate in the agenda of others. This is the paradigm you're involved in when you participate with these acts. It's a moral issue. And once you know, are you still willing to sell your conscience for the big payoff? That's something you should consider very carefully. If you are the victim of something like this, I pray you learn rational recovery and practice it. Liberate yourself from this cruel captivity and find people who really love you. It's better to be alone than with people like that. I heard an inspiring story of someone who wouldn't sell his conscience to his captors. It was about a POW. He was working in a munitions factory in World War II for the Nazis. Well, there was a dogfight in the sky, and almost everyone in the squadron was lost, except there was this one plane that made it back. When it got back to the base, they noticed that there were bullets in the gas tank. And that should have spelled the end of them, but it didn't. So they dug out the shells to see what had happened, and they found all the bullets were duds. They opened the casing, and they were empty, no gunpowder. And in the seventh shell, they found a note that said, "This is all I can do for you now." That munitions factory worker sabotaged the effort to destroy the Allied forces. He wouldn't participate. He should be a role model for all of us. Rule yourself, defeat the beast. That's all I had for you today. I'm sorry if that was a little bit harder to hear than my usual content. I'll be back for more, so stay tuned. And I just wanted to note that I've been posting other videos that are unrelated but kind of related to mental health and drug addiction, and so be alert to that. But I'm still going to keep coming out with these Speak blogs, so you don't have to worry about that. Thank you. Please keep ferreting out that beast. See you soon. Bye bye.